Jose actually posed with the team recently.
Yeah,
And
I saw that. And
imaginary striker.
Striker is not there. Exact opposite. A Milan fan is saying Inter, and I, as an Inter fan, am saying because I think Milan's market has been very good. I think what went wrong is Lukaku went wrong. That man just can't be trusted.
Being a Chelsea fan and being an Inter Milan fan,
Yeah.
no day is boring or no year is boring. कुछ ना कुछ होते रहता है. कहीं ना कहीं I think the Milan teams were better in the Champions League. Just had to put in there. Hello. Welcome back to Almighty Blues FC, a fan channel for all to see. और how can there be a season जो शुरू होने वाला है जहां पर हम बात नहीं करें Serie A की, because you all know, no matter what, always have a soft corner for AC Milan. But talk about AC Milan, भाई, AC Milan is incomplete in a very strange way, लेकिन it's the truth. क्योंकि San Siro partners यहाँ पर है obviously FATEH from Inter Milan fan base. FATEH, how are you? क्या हाल है? Ready for the season?
Ready for the season. It's been a big break, but I am still reeling from how the season ended. I mean, it could have been so much more. But
exactly, Italian football fan lovers would exactly know what we are referring to. Because getting there to the three major club competitions के finals and then तीनों ही finals में Italian clubs were out. Obviously, were the losing finalists. लेकिन Inter Milan in particular, Champions League being the the highest pedestal जो बोलते हैं हम club football में. और again, even the match was so close. But generally speaking, Italian football के लिए FATEH, before we go into the teams and speak about what will their future be this season. क्या लगता है लास्ट सीजन वाज अ स्मोक स्क्रीन अबाउट गेटिंग टू दोस थ्री फाइनल्स, या आपको लगता है कि नहीं genuinely there is an improvement and this time it can only go better?
I feel like Italian football homegrown talent जो आ रहा है इटली में, अंकित, that is really improving, because you're looking at these players like Barella and like Tonali scored for Newcastle, for example, so these young players that are coming out, ये बहुत अच्छा है. But monetarily, it's not sustainable. I mean, the way Serie A is losing stars, that is really worrying. So maybe that whole calcio is back. Maybe that was a bit premature in my opinion. I feel like it was premature.
Okay, देखते हैं भाई. Again, आप लोग बोलिएगा डेफिनेटली, आप लोग के कमेंट्स है, आपके क्या प्रेडिक्शंस है, वन बाय वन द टीम्स दैट वी गोइंग टू डिस्कस. लेकिन ऑब्वियसली विदाउट एनी बायस विल कम टू इंटर मिलान, एसी मिलान फॉर श्योर, क्योंकि हम दोनों यहाँ पर. लेकिन शुरू करना पड़ेगा नापोली. व्हाट अ स्टोरी. 33 years old, wait, by worth it for sure, as in the spirit of Diego Maradona would have really breathed well, I think, क्योंकि generally Argentina का सीजन था, Napoli somehow it was destiny. But again, remember, it was, I think 33 years तो ठीक है, लेकिन पहली बार the top 3 of Italian football नहीं जीते थे from 2001. So it's a major achievement. लेकिन अगेन जो क्वेश्चन मैंने बोला था अबाउट इटालियन फुटबॉल, डोंट यू थिंक अबाउट नापोली भी वो ट्रू है? बिकॉज लूजिंग देयर कोच द फॉलोइंग ईयर, लुसियानो स्पलेटी, हमने हमेशा बोला FATEH on our channel that one of the underrated coaches over the years. अब he is gone. Rudi Garcia has come in, someone who's been there, done that with Roma, Lille, लेकिन he's not managed in Europe for, again, if I'm not wrong, close to 3 years now. तो क्या लगता है आपको भाई, that is something still okay considering उनके जो stars है, Osimhen and Quicha are still there, which is the major deal for them? You think it's fine or you think नहीं, इस बार बहुत difficult होगा to repeat that?
I think difficult तो होगा, but getting a coach like Rudi Garcia, see, he replaced Spalletti, I think, at Roma. And he did a decent job. He got them into the top 3 and he got them into the Champions League. So I think that is the aim. I don't think Napoli are going to be challenging for the league title this year. But I think top 4, I think they should be able to do it. Because like you said, their main attacking stars are there. The recent rumor is Zielinski could be out to Saudi Arabia. So if that happens, then they've got a problem in midfield, because Zielinski was a very good player last year. He had a very good season. So Napoli losing Kim and Zielinski, that's going to be difficult to fill in.
बिल्कुल, I think Kim Min-Jae, what a breakthrough season था उसका. लेकिन वही है, आप सब प्लेयर्स को तो नहीं रिटेन कर पाओगे, लेकिन I think मेजर जो कोर है वो उन्होंने रिटेन किया है, and that is where I think देना पड़ेगा उनको. Again, Giovanni, Simeone, Raspadori, again being signed, permanently. That is something of a win for me, along with obviously जो हमने बात किया about the star players. But if you really tell me, what the biggest loss is, लोग इतना बात नहीं कर इसके बारे में. Napoli have actually, for people who do not know, have lost their sporting director to Juventus out of all the clubs. मतलब that's a huge news in itself, and I think that will be a major blow if you ask me. क्योंकि मुझे लगता है जो starting 11 है बहुत बढ़िया, लेकिन Napoli को, because now people are even more ready, opposition clubs to come at you, you needed to develop a better, backups. I know Veiga has been spoken about, वो आएगा from Celta Vigo, but let's be real, जो sporting director ने किया था काम, along with obviously Spalletti, I think that is underrated. And going to Juventus again, maybe पैसा बोलता है, I don't know what, something is wrong behind the scenes. Quick prediction from you, FATEH, इस बार तो you are saying top 4, but exact prediction क्या बोलोगे for Napoli this season?
I think they'll fight for 3rd or 4th. I don't think they'll fight for the league title. Even if they have Quaradona and Osimhen, I feel like teams will know now, there is a way in which you have to stop Napoli. And AC Milan showed it last season. They beat Napoli 3 times over the span of 15 days, I think. So that is the big chink in Napoli's armor, and I think Milan exposed it. So I think we'll see more of that this year.
नहीं बिल्कुल. इनफैक्ट उससे याद है दैट वी हैव टू स्पीक अबाउट द हिस्टोरिकल यूसीएल क्वार्टर फाइनल जो नापोली ने किया था रीच लास्ट सीजन. बट लेट्स बी रियल, कहीं ना कहीं आई थिंक द मिलान टीम्स वर बेटर इन द चैंपियंस लीग. जस्ट हैड टू पुट इन देयर. लेकिन लेट्स गो देयर. फर्स्ट श्योर हम आएंगे लाजियो द सेकंड टीम जो फिनिश किए थे लास्ट सीजन. बट वी हैव टू स्पीक अबाउट सिंस फतेह इज इंटर एंड एसी मिलान. चलो फतेह बीइंग द गेस्ट आज भाई इंटर से शुरू करते. मतलब कहीं ना कहीं बीइंग अ चेल्सी फैन एंड बीइंग एन इंटर मिलान फैन, no day is boring or no year is boring. कुछ ना कुछ होते रहता है.
Exactly.
लेकिन fails of the UCL, फतेह, I don't want you to be reminded of that. लेकिन उसके बावजूद जो आपने बोला, the finance issue is there in Italian football still. लेकिन everyone would have thought finals of the UCL, you get a lot of money, you must have invested it even more so. मतलब कोई भी ऐसे significant buy in terms of money नहीं आया. मतलब there have been very good purchases. Mind you, definitely Davide Fratesi from Sassuolo, brilliant pick for me. Again, Marcus Thuram, Jan Sommer, of course Juan Cuadrado, or all the people that you picked, and Arnautovic came out of nowhere. लेकिन for you a significant buy, were you saving all that money for Lukaku? What went wrong?
I think what went wrong is Lukaku went wrong. That man just can't be trusted. I didn't expect that this news would come out that he's been flirting with Juventus, and the way he's reacted since then. I mean, I think I don't know. You can tell me the truth, but I think there was a recent interview where he said that the club I enjoyed the most was Everton. But then when he was at Everton, Ankit, he was always looking to leave Everton. He was like,
exactly.
I want to leave for a bigger club.
In fact, वो अभी recently बोला कि यार I don't go to Saudi because I still think I'm one of the top strikers in the world, and I'm like, tell me about
this. Guy lost us the Europa League final, and he lost us the Champions League final, and he says that he's a top striker. Like I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know. But coming to Inter Milan's market, Ankit, look, Inter Milan, we made a lot of money last year, and it was said that we don't have to sell players. And the moment the market started, Inter Milan, let's sell Onana and let's sell Brozovic. Those were the two best players in that Champions League final, So, and us fans expected that money would be used for transfer incomings. None of that has been used. So it's very clear that this owner, he's not going to invest. He's taking money out of the club. There are massive debts. There are most definitely massive debts. But he's trying to, refinance a loan that he took from a hedge fund at a higher interest rate. So he's repaying that. So all this money is going there. And I think Inter Milan just keep making band-aids to a sinking ship. But inevitably, that ship has to sink. So I think these band-aids won't work long term. We had such a good base to build on, So we've lost Skriniar, we've lost Dzeko, we've lost Lukaku. Okay, Lukaku was playing for whatever, but in the league he was still towards the end. He was still useful, and we've lost Onana and Brozovic. So I think the core has gone, and it's going to be a very difficult season. You mentioned Fratesi, young player, so coming in. At a big club, I think first season आप इतना expect नहीं कर सकते हो कि that player will just replace.
नहीं वहीं पर लेकिन मैं थोड़ा काउंटर करूंगा इसको. I feel कि Cuadrado it could be a very underrated signing.
Oh yes, and Ankit, you being a Dutch fan, if you remember that Champions League final, Dumfries was at the edge of the box and he couldn't cross to a free player. We could have scored a goal there, and he ball पीछे चला गया. It went back to Onana. That's what Dumfries does, So attacking wise, Dumfries is not good. Defensively and physically, he's solid. So I think
balance देता है. Cuadrado आपको balance देगा जो maybe Dumfries will not
and
give.
He'll be good for attack. And there is a very underrated player that we bought. Cousins has left, but we bought Carlos Augusto. So Carlos Augusto, like Di Marco, is very good with crosses. Now the problem is, अब Lukaku and Dzeko had the height. So they had a presence inside the box. So आप cross तो करोगे, but आपका forward कौन है अब? We don't have those forwards who are going to be in the box. So again,
but again, like I think I'll be really surprised if Inzaghi changes the formation 3-5-2. I think Cuadrado is main for that. तो वही रहेगा. लेकिन मतलब यहाँ पर मैं फतेह का prediction नहीं पूछूं, मैं मेरा बोल रहा हूँ. I think Inter Milan का season है to lose. मतलब I think the Serie A is going to Inter Milan. I feel the reason being क्योंकि Inzaghi कब का बोल रहा है. I think probably this is the year probably he'll get to the league, and remember that's how probably AC Milan also built when they won the Scudetto. मुझे लगता है that this might be the league again. Keeping hold of Lautaro I think is a big deal, and mark my words. I know he's not a goal scorer per se, लेकिन जब जाता है तो बहुत goals मारता है. Let's move on quickly, guys. Come on, let's hit that like button. आपने अभी तक नहीं दबाया तो क्या wait कर रहे हो? Come on, let's get there because we are talking about AC Milan. Forza Milan, get in guys. तो AC Milan देखो, let's be honest, टोनाली का ऑलरेडी जिक्र हो चुका है. Huge loss, लेकिन obviously behind the scenes bigger loss, you can almost say, that Ricky Massara and Paolo Maldini, two people who, legend in Paolo Maldini, but generally, I think these two guys clearly did a lot of work jab Scudetto jeete tha. I know there's a lot of criticism as well, but somewhere down the line, it is known that the owners jo hai, Redbird Capital, their moneyball approach will probably make Milan a trading club. Let's be very real about it. वो Italian football का general भी है, लेकिन Milan का और भी clear लग रहा है because of the stadium plans in the future, etc. वो it's clear. But यहाँ पर unlike in Inter Milan, I know still disappointed at that semi-final loss against Inter Milan. That will remain the derby loss in the Champions League, especially 100%. And last season में Origi और CD के Charles Kettler huge flops in my opinion, huge flops. ठीक है, लेकिन we have gotten rid of CDK to Atalanta, good deal in my opinion. Samuel Chukwueze, Pulisic, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Reinders among many others. भाई, these are some signings जो potential रखते हैं for a good attacking style of brand of play, which probably is what Milan needs in my opinion अभी, considering that इतने सारे goals नहीं नजर आ रहे थे at one point. So मैंने ये बोल दिया ये सब आया फतेह, but from your perspective, जैसे मैंने बोला इंटर मिलान फेवरेट डाल रहा हूँ मैं, why do I have a feeling that you are putting AC Milan as the favorite?
Exactly, like it's exact opposite. A Milan fan is saying Inter, and I as an Inter fan am saying, because I think Milan's market has been very good. They had a very pacey winger in Leao, and that helped them win that Scudetto. And now they've put a very pacey winger on the right. They've got Pulisic, they've got Chukwueze, and they've got Okafor. And so, attack-wise, they've got a lot of pace now. So I think this is fantastic for the market. And in midfield, Loftus-Cheek and Yunus Musa, very physical midfielders. And Benacer comes back, I think, towards the end of the year.
Yeah,
so somewhere around November and December, he'll be back. So I think Milan are looking very good. They're saying that they're going to be looking at one centre back or signing in defense. And then there's this guy called Reindeers who's very highly rated. Like a lot of people talk very highly about Reindeers. So I think it's a good market. The only question is, if you make these many changes, do they gel immediately?
Exactly. That is my whole point compared to Inter Milan. Or again, Luca Romero, don't sleep on him, guys. I think he's actually a good one coming from.
He scored a brilliant goal, I think, in the friendly.
Yes, absolutely. लेकिन देखते हैं, guys, आप लोग भी अपना prediction दीजिए. यहाँ पर अपने तो predictions आपने clearly देखा ही है, but we have to speak about Juventus. Definitely, I know कहीं ना कहीं last season was a huge disappointment. One season that they would like to forget. 7th, वो भी after points getting deducted. I think if I'm not wrong, 10 point deduction हुई थी. And then after that, they thought चलो भाई यूरोप तो है, कुछ consolation prize तो मिला कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग, तब बाद में बोलते टाटा बाय बाय, यूएफए बोल रहे नहीं यार सॉरी, आपको वहां भी मौका नहीं मिलेगा. But in a strange way मैं बोलता हूँ, Fateh, it is a blessing in disguise that they don't have Europe so that they can focus on the football. आपका week out football friendly में I know it was Real Madrid, it was just a friendly, लेकिन काफी different देखने को मिला. What Allegri ball is unpopular for in recent times, लेकिन remember they haven't, for a club like Juventus not to win the Scudetto since 2020 is huge, absolutely. लेकिन वो क्या लगता है, false accounting issues के कारण जो हुए थे changes, sporting directors getting changed, again getting the director from Napoli helps, but signings में कुछ नहीं किया. Timothy Weah के अलावा they've just confirmed Milik. So they are still depending on the youngsters. Are they going the new direction कि अभी हमें खिलाना है all the youngsters that they had? We are talking about Miretti, Fagioli as well as Ling Jr. They can keep hold of, or do you think नहीं? It's just that they didn't turn up last year.
No, I think they did end up turning up in the league, towards the end. They were very close. If there was no point penalty, they would have been very clear in second place. And they might even have challenged Napoli अगर वो जल्दी point penalty नहीं होती. Also, the players that they are being linked with, like you said, Napoli का sporting director, he's just come. They probably will be signing. They're looking at Berardi. They're looking at Amrabat. So, they are looking at these players who are very interesting. They only have one tournament to focus on. I don't think they'll care for the Coppa Italia. Correct. And considering that they were second technically in the league, I do think that they are the favorites because, with Inter, with AC Milan, with everybody else, and getting a player like, say, Amrabat and Pogba is going to be fit. So they're saying that Pogba is going to be playing this year. So I think that makes a big difference. Pogba, again, he's had a very bad sort of time, very bad spell, but there's a World Cup for France and they say that Pogba always steps up for France. So, you might see him work hard on his fitness this year. So I think if Pogba is giving them 25 league games, Ankit, I think they can do it. I think
along with Chiesa coming back second year after injury, remember that?
Yes, absolutely.
Lekin Vlahovic, that is a case that मुझे भी नहीं पता क्या हो रहा है, because if you actually see the numbers, I know we'll briefly touch upon Atalanta as well. Lekin as much as Højlund is, really hyped and probably deserves the hype as well to some extent, you can argue that. Lekin I think minutes, goals per 90, Vlahovic is still better than Højlund. And if you actually consider that, and I think Vlahovic, he was injured a little bit, but again, Allegri ball comes to 4. So it'll be interesting if they keep hold of Vlahovic. I'm happy to keep him, but we know the state जो Juventus में है, अब क्यों आया director? क्योंकि this director is known. Napoli was known to make those shrewd signings and again keeping out of the players. I think this director will probably make that as a US strong point, which probably they need in this course of transition. But I genuinely believe with that leadership element of Bonucci not being in the plan supposedly, मुझे लगता है that Juventus, despite not having Europe, struggle करेगी. I can still see Juventus sneak in करेगी top 4 में, इसलिए हमने बात किया इसके बारे में. So I think sneak in करेगी, but I think that will be about it generally, क्योंकि पैसे नहीं यार, वांदे पैसे की. But talk about पैसा का वांदा यार, Jose Mourinho. I know Jose Mourinho always likes to crib about money and not having that, despite having lots over the years. लेकिन रोमा में genuinely नहीं है guys. Tammy Abraham has a long-term injury. Not that वो अगर injured नहीं होता तो Chelsea नहीं try करती. I know that there was a buyback, लेकिन that's not good for them. But Belotti has to be one of the worst forwards ever in Serie A for me. Very very overrated. हाँ, पता नहीं क्या करता है बंदा. गोल नहीं मारता, सब बाकी सब चीज कर लेता है. But Jose actually posed with the team recently.
Yeah, and I saw that.
Imaginary striker
is not there.
They are being linked.
Amazing from Jose Mourinho. That's a way of taking a swipe at the technical director and the ownership. That look, I'm done with preseason, and you're not giving me a striker. They're linked with Zapata from Atalanta, I think, and I think they'll get him. But he's had a lot of injury problems too. So Tammy Abraham has had injury problems, Zapata injury problems, Dybala injury problems. So you would want them to get a striker who's able to give them those at least 30-35 games.
Yeah. I think goals are missing in their team. I genuinely believe Dybala पर over dependence बहुत ज़्यादा है. As much as I think Pellegrini is one of the most underrated players I believe in Serie A, लेकिन बहुत defensive लगेगा और भी. Matic used to do the dirty work. अब तो भाई उसके करने के लिए Renato Sanchez और Paredes are coming in, but even at this stage, reliability के हिसाब से I would say that Matic is a little bit more reliable at times, and that's something that they will miss. It came as a shock to Jose, I must say that. लेकिन Fateh, what's your prediction? Implosion happening? मेरे ख्याल से, unfortunately, I see an implosion happening at Roma this time, as much as Jose loved Roma and vice versa.
Yeah, we love Jose Mourinho. I'm sure we'll do a live of his Europa League wherever he's in. I hope he has another run like last year. And
yeah, he deserved it, yaar.
That Jose Mourinho curse. A lot of people are talking about that. But this has been a more mellow Jose Mourinho. So far he's not been lashing out, and they really love him now in Rome. He's created that bond with him. So it's very difficult for me to see him being sacked until they are really totally out of European spots come the winter. And I don't think that will happen because, you look at these signings, Endika, Aouar, Sanchez, Paredes, in midfield, those are very good signings. I mean, you have to say that.
मतलब solid लग रही है, team solid लग रही है. Problem यही आ रही है कि creativity goals कहाँ से आएंगे?
But yeah, I think top 6.
But you know what? Some teams should learn from our very own Maurizio Sarri, because Lazio surprised. I know 16 points में Napoli बहुत बड़ा होता है margin, लेकिन for Lazio का जो lack of finances है, I think you have to give it to them. And I think he's a proper coach. Let's be real about it. और मुझे लगता है, I don't know, एक early prediction में कर रहा हूँ. I think they might be your dark horses. When I say dark horses, I don't mean that they will, burst into the title challenge again. मुझे लगता है, लेकिन they will be in the top 4 also. I feel they will, they will be there just about. I think Napoli कहीं ना कहीं might take a hit इस बार, as much as they've kept their star players. Kamada, भाई AC Milan से link था. I don't know what happened, how they got Kamada. Great. They've got a Argentine striker as well. I don't know how to pronounce it. Castellanos. He's coming from, I know he's come from MLS, लेकिन very very highly rated. Between Lazio and maybe Atalanta, who lost Højlund, क्या लगता है वहां पर कमाका शायद आया है? Which team will surprise you more?
See, I think Lazio have the Champions League and they've lost a very important player in Milinkovic-Savic. So they've got these two players from Juventus, Rovella and Pellegrini for midfield. But somehow they're saying that Bonucci might sign for defense for Lazio. Yeah. So that could be good. They're looking at Hugo Lloris as goalkeeper. Now, see, that's not a good move. I've never been convinced of Hugo Lloris, somehow. I don't see them as top 4. A lot of people are saying that this could be Sarri's year. I think playing the Champions League is going to take its toll on them. So I feel like Lazio will not be in the top 4. I personally feel that. Because SMS was their big, the player who used to drag them at times against the smaller teams and get them wins.
Leader for sure.
That is, yeah.
So bhai, according to Fateh, there are no huge surprises coming in. Lekin, be ready for a proper top 4 battle in the Serie A. Or not just that, remember, a lot of those teams है Champions League में भी, तो हम उसके बारे में करेंगे बात next month. अभी के लिए इतना ही बोलूंगा, मैं तो बोलूंगा Forza Milan, but Fateh, all the best to you, and of course every team there. It's probably coming back to the top where we belong, that is Italian football. See you very soon. Always a fan channel for all, no matter what.